Hello? Am I live? Hey, how's everybody doing this morning? Painfully honest tech. Morning, morning. Good morning. Oh boy. I'm tired and I can hear myself. Yeah, yeah. Shut up. Okay. Hi. How's everybody? Here we are. It is Thursday, the 10th of October. Yeah, 2019. 15 days away from my birthday. Yay for me. It's almost my birthday. Hooray. Hooray. How's everybody doing this morning? How's everybody doing this morning? Brian Carr, good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Richard Barnes, good morning to you. Michael Wetzel, good morning to you. Jesper, good morning. Can I recommend a movie? Yeah, if you haven't seen Joker yet, that's a good one. Alessandro, technically T, my friend, good to see you this morning. Damien, uh, Lewaye 84. Good morning. Jonathan Honeywell, good to see you. Big Lou in the house. Travis England in the house. I already said hi to you, Brian. Um, yeah, so here we are. Good morning. I don't know exactly what I have. You can't wait for new Ghostbusters. Is there going to be a new Ghostbusters? I thought the last Ghostbusters was terrible. Mukund, good to see you. Monique, good morning to you. Live stronger. It's going well. Thank you for asking. Jason Laverty, good to see you. Hugo in the house, rocking his membership hat. You know, it's looking good, Hugo. Although, like, I didn't think that I didn't know that the text of the members in chat would be green. So I had no idea that this would look like a Christmas kind of thing. Mm. Ah, yes. Brian, good to see you. Hilario, good to see you. Traveling with Charles, good morning to you. Athmain, good to Algeria, good morning to you from the United States. JT Tech Tube, good to see you guys this morning. What are we going to talk about this morning? What do you guys want to talk about? Because I really have like vague ideas of what to talk about. Damien getting the Pro Max. Good. I like the Pro Max. I ended up keeping my Pro because it was I just like, I had the XS before this came out and I just liked the size. I do still have my LG V50 for all you folks who have watched the video that I put out yesterday. Thank you so much. If you haven't watched it yet, it's there on the channel. You can you can uh you can go check it out. It's about why I sold the Galaxy Note 10 Plus in order to be able to keep my LG V50. So I realized that's maybe weird, but I explain it later on. Oh, Michael, that's good. I've always like wanted to get sort of like a moonlighting job at either Best Buy or at one of the carrier stores so I could get like really good discounts on stuff. But I think it would be weird at this point. Like enough people know who I am that if I worked at a Best Buy and people came in, they'd be like, "Why are you working at the Best Buy?" I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Brian, question. I've never had an Apple Watch. I've been doing research on it, but really love a traditional watch. Thoughts on it, on if it actually brings value to life or is it just another thing? Uh, I'm wearing my Apple Watch right now. I can say that it does, in fact, bring value to my life, if for no other reason than to make me feel bad about how much I don't exercise, which is really the whole thing. But there's so much that you can do with it. I barely scratched the surface, but I use the rings. I use it if to control media when I'm checking out the medias and I'm walking around or something like that. Uh, it's become one of those things that I don't feel super comfortable if I'm not wearing it. And I've never been a huge watch wearer myself. So I think, excuse me. Oh, geez. Breakfast is repeating on me. I think the Apple Watch is a good investment. Google Stadia, is it real or BS? Asks Buzz703. I haven't done a ton of research on Stadia just yet. I think that the technology is there for it to be good at this point. It's just a matter of, are the games good? How is the service good? Early reports on Apple Arcade are positive for the most part, from what I've seen. So I think Stadia could work, but I'm not sure. I just have to wait and see. It could work. It could be a disaster. You never know with Google. um, Zach, good morning to you, my friend. Michael Wetzel asked the new fold phone by Samsung already giving me issues. Your thoughts? I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised. I understand, like, wanting to get into it, wanting to have that technology in your hands. I want to as well, because I want to see how cool it is and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I wasn't convinced, if it did come out again, that it wouldn't be problematic. So sorry to hear you're having troubles. PHT, upgrade from the 10s Max or wait for next year? I mean, that's a really hard question. The 10s Max, perfectly good phone. The upgrades that you're really going to see, with the new phone, are the camera, for one thing, and the battery life. The battery life is the best battery life on the 10s Max. The battery life was good. On the 11 Pro Max, I've never had battery life like that ever. I mean, right now, I'm sitting here with I charged my phone yesterday, took it off the charger, used it pretty extensively yesterday, 38% charge still, and this is on the 11 Pro. The 11 Pro Max, I could use this for another day at least. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Max Johnson deciding between the V50 and the G8. I mean, there's the size difference. The G8 has the weird, like, gesture things, which I don't really care about. The V50 has 5G, which doesn't make any difference to anyone anywhere at all. But there's a price premium for that. I've always liked the V series phones better than the G series phones personally, but I'm sure you can get a G8 for super cheap right now. And it does have, now that the G series has the quad DAC and all that kind of thing, then the cheaper one is probably the better option. Uh, Note 9 or 7T Pro. Man, I would say Note 9. I'm just not a big fan of OnePlus phones, but a lot of people love them. And it's not, I should make more of a distinction there. OnePlus makes some really good phones. I have never fallen in love with them. I always feel like, I just feel like they're lacking the things that they're lacking, and compared to other phones, I miss things like wireless charging. So, Stones or Beatles? How could you ask that question when I have a tattoo of the Beatles on my arm? Can you? Oh, there. Okay. So obviously the Beatles, I got nothing against the Stones, but they are a fun listen. Uh they're a fun listen. I really like it. I get into moments when I want to listen to the Rolling Stones a lot. The Beatles are a totally different thing for me. Um Yesterday was John Lennon's 79th birthday, or would have been his 79th birthday, October 9th. Uh it's also his son Sean's birthday, which I don't know how they made that happen, but you know. So no iPhone is worth the money. I mean, Richard, let's be honest. It's all relative. Oh shoot, AC/DC or Ozzy? I'm gonna have to go with AC/DC over Ozzy. But if you asked me AC/DC over Black Sabbath, that would be a more difficult choice. However, ACDC, ooh, Front Page Tech with the $10 super chat. I feel like I have to give you something for that. Like, what do you want? I listen to ACDC a lot. They are my like stop feeling like crap music. So there's that. No phone is worth $1,000. Again, all relative. Should phones be $1,000? No, I don't think so. But that's what it is. You're willing to pay it or not? Ryan Ray, thank you for the Ryan Ray. Good to see you. LeBaron Burton is in here. Oh my God, are you warming up for this Saturday? Yeah, yeah. I'm a when it comes to music, I am a big Anglophile. I mean, I love American music too, but the Beatles are my thing. Yeah, man. I just when I want to get my head out of a dark place, I'll just go over to like Tidal and listen to their top tracks from AC/DC like really loud, and it tends to brighten my mood for some reason. Jason Wilson, good to see you. Good to see you. Everything is well. Everything is well. Thank you for asking. From the DDB Freedom asks, looking to upgrade from the S2 watch, what's a good upgrade for the money? Well, if you've got the S2 watch, I'm going to assume that you're Samsung. And I mean, I've liked the S series watches. I like last year's like Frontier watch and all that kind of stuff, and the year before. I'm not so sure about the Galaxy watch. I know my buddy Zach. Maybe Zach can jump in the chat and tell you what his thoughts are on the Galaxy watch. Front Page Tech would like for in exchange for the $10 super chat. I would like a shout out for my small and up and coming YouTube channel. Your channel is bigger and we need hot subbies. You can keep the bad ones though. Well, if you are a good subscriber and you're not subscribed to Front Page Tech, which I find highly unlikely, then go subscribe to Front Page Tech because they're awesome. They do like really good stuff. And John, he's acerbic. I think that's the word that acerbic. Is that the word I want? Only the good ones, though. I don't know that I can really separate the good from the bad. Is there any such thing as a bad subscriber? Honestly, um, you know. So Zach has talked about the Galaxy Watch Active 2 in here. Great watch for the price point. So if you have Samsung, if you're still rocking Samsung, then you're getting. I think the Galaxy Watch 2 is worth looking at because it is pretty cheap compared to the more expensive the Apple Watch. However, you can get an Apple Watch for cheap these days too. I did call you a cervix. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I wish I had thought of that. Maybe now I'm going to do that just whenever someone's being salty. I'll say they're being a cervix. Mm-hmm. Front Page Tech, Painfully Honest Tech, collaboration could easily be done. I mean, we've done collabs of sorts, live streams and such before. LeBaron, thank you for the $20 super chat. So if you guys don't know, LeBaron Burton and John Prosser are squaring off on Saturday night in a I guess like a tech battle where they're gonna battle wits about tech related stuff. It's gonna be something cool. Tech King Mike is the guy's channel that you want to check out. Tech King Mike, he's a member of this channel. And yeah, those guys will be squaring off. Saturday night fight should be interesting. I still think I should be a judge. I still think I should be a judge for that. But, David is awesome. Good morning to you. I got a bug flying around in here. I'm not losing my mind. Well, maybe I'm losing my mind as well, but you know. Oh, see the trash talk. I like trash talk that comes in $20 increments. I can get behind that. I can get behind trash talk that comes in $20 increments for sure. So AC/DC from the Bon Scott era is very, very good. Although, man, now I'm blanking on the other guy's name. Like some of their biggest hits come from that era as well. Black Sabbath. I'm an Ozzy guy. So you know, Black Sabbath kind of ended for me at Ozzy, but I haven't really like delved into the Ronnie James era of that. Yeah, well, I mean, you guys are the ones that are John. You guys are the ones that are like putting money behind the trash talk. So I appreciate it. You know, paying for this coffee and my next order of coffee. I love it. All right, Johnny, have a good morning. Hopefully you get those subs. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. Or anyway, thanks for the super chat, etc., etc. Front Page Tech, everybody. John Prosser in the house. Go check out Front Page Tech if you haven't, because if you haven't, you're missing everything. Ivan says it's night here. Where is here today, Ivan? Yeah, Lord Septilius. Yes, I'm thinking that like $20 trash talks could just happen all day. All day. Anybody wants to talk trash, the price is $20. I wonder how Andy Rubin is feeling this morning. I only saw the announcement of that crazy looking essential phone. I haven't checked out the news today, but yeah, that phone is nuts. We were going to talk about it on the podcast the other night, and we got off on other subjects. But yeah, the new essential phone. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Let me see if I can find it here. Because yeah, it's just completely bonkers what he has decided is going to be the next essential phone. I haven't seen John's video yet. No. So like last night I got, yeah, I did miss the entire Front Page Tech. I was watching The Curse of Oak Island last night for hours. I stayed up until 2:30 in the morning watching that show. Just if you don't know the show, it's about these guys who these two brothers who are spending millions of dollars to try and find a treasure on this island in Nova Scotia, off the coast of Nova Scotia. And they've been doing it for years, for 200 something years. For 200 something years, people have been looking for this treasure. And so these guys are bringing in like the heavy stuff. LeBaron, a double $20 super chat. What the heck is going on? Okay. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So, Richard, yeah, I mean, I'm only on season 4 right now. And it's like, okay, I think we've dug into the big hole that we found last season, and there was the gold looking thing, and I don't know. I kept watching the next episode to see if they found something. They haven't found anything yet. So, but I stayed up until 2:30 in the morning. Had to be up at 5. And that was not enough sleep. But I figured I'd get on here and chat with you folks anyway. Not see, Matthew, you just ruined the whole thing for me. I'm living in the past, trying to get to the present. Now you've ruined it all for me. Anyway, I guess it's okay. It's on the History Channel, although I'm watching it right now on Amazon Prime. So I will look for this Front Page Tech episode. Zach, thanks for stopping in this morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm sure we'll talk again soon. Do I recommend buying the S10 Plus now? I mean, yeah, the prices should be good, or will be at some point. I mean, at this point, the S10 Plus is as good as, I mean, it's a Note 10 Plus without the S Pen, but with a headphone jack. So, depending on how you feel about that should be your answer. It's okay. I have to do this. So Jap Golf says it's in England. It's 15:55 local time, which means it is almost 4 p.m. Am I right? Am I right? I think I am. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Skip to season 6 is just a bigger hole. Okay, well that'll save me. That'll save me some sleep. I'll be able to sleep more if I just get to the point. Do I think Huawei stands a chance without Google? I have no idea. It's so hard for it's so hard for me to judge how Huawei is going to do. I mean, because I just have such limited experience with Huawei in terms of the hardware. I used the Huawei Nexus. What was the Nexus 6P was a Huawei phone, but that's like the only Huawei that I've had. Yeah, if you don't, Assassin Master, if you don't care for the S Pen, then there's no reason to get the Note phone, in my opinion. Why put a launcher on my phone? Yes, you're right. I don't understand what that means, but I do use a launcher. I use Nova Launcher. If you guys watched my video from last night, then you'll know that. Then you'll know that. Okay, so Peaky Blinders is a show that I started watching like during its first season, but got sidetracked. Got sidetracked and didn't get back to it. Now they're like 5 seasons, and I'm just kind of like, that's a big time commitment, but I'm sure I would love it. Chad C, are you in on iPhone or Android phones right now? I don't know what you mean by in, but I have one of both. One of both. Right now, my SIM card is in the iPhone, but it may make it back into the Galaxy phone, or not the Galaxy, the V50 sometime soon. Easy Rambo coming to us from the UK. It's 4 p.m. almost. What part of the U.S. am I in? I am in Iowa. I am in Iowa, which is in the middle of the country, and it's nice out here. I guess it's a little rainy this morning. So yeah, we talked about this a little bit before, Easy Rambo. I mean, there are a couple of things that put the new iPhone above even the XS Max. It is the camera and the battery life are unbelievable, and those would be your big improvements. Whether or not it's worth you spending money on top of money to get there is up to you. I don't have an Apple Watch 5. This is an Apple Watch Series 4, and I don't think I'm going to get the Series 5, mostly because the only thing that I would really want from it is the always on display, and I don't really want to pay for that. I'll upgrade like in the next cycle. I'm 2.5 hours from Ames. I'm in I live where the other university is. I'll tell you that much. Uh, West Virginia, my college, my university, and also where I grew up, Morgantown, West Virginia, they're playing your Iowa State Cyclones this Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Time. So should be exciting. Should be exciting. Well, so, Richard, you have to see what you're gonna get for that Max. Because one thing that is really nice about iPhones is they hold their value very well. You'll lose like maybe 20%, and that's not as much as you would lose if you were selling, say, like a V series LG phone or something like that. So should I get Apple Music or Spotify Premium? I am not a Spotify fan, nor have I ever been. Just um, something about the way that music discovery happens on Spotify. It's more based on like individual tracks and playlists. Where as an older person, I've always listened to albums and found artists and albums before I went for individual songs. And I like Apple Music because they make that easier. Um, but right now I'm on Tidal, and like Tidal's like still figuring out what I like to listen to, so I'm giving it some time. But you know, I'm also doing a video for Plex about me setting up a Plex server, and Tidal is connected to Plex, so that's why I'm trying Tidal. Um, so wait, you're at WVU right now? Cool. What are you studying? WVU is my mom still lives in Morgantown. I haven't been back in a couple of years, but WVU is still my first love. I watch all the sports. Um, so Shane, I've lived in Iowa for 15 years now, and I have not been to the Field of Dreams yet. Although I loved the book and I loved the movie, I haven't gone. So maybe next year is the time to go. I don't know, but I do want to check it out. I rarely go out and do anything but sit in front of the computer like this. Um, so Richard asks, are folks okay with the subscription based stuff that Apple and others are pumping out? Uh I think that now that we've entered the time when like you pay a subscription for everything, subscription fatigue is going to set in. I know it's already set in for me. Like I routinely go back through and cancel tons of subscriptions that I find that I'm not using. Um, I think that the Apple stuff has the potential to be valuable in that way. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if you're paying for Apple Apple TV plus Disney plus Netflix plus Hulu plus Amazon plus whatever else, if you're paying for all that stuff, I mean, the whole point of cutting the cord was to cut down on your expenditures and save money. But now, like, you through all these little things, it's like dink dunk dink dunk dink dunk, suddenly you're spending over $100 on services. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I think that we're going to get service fatigue. Um, Service fatigue is going to set in for people pretty quickly. Tech King Mike in the house. Good to see you. We were LeBaron and John Prosser were in here just a little while ago, and they were throwing around $20 super chats and trash talking each other. So, we're hyping up Saturday night for you. Michaela's studying speech pathology and audiology. That's cool. I had a friend who one of my wife's best friends studied audiology at WVU. So very cool. Very cool. I my route through WVU was how shall we say circuitous. In I started college in fall of 1989, and I graduated in December of 2004. Techno Dad, it's good to see you, man. I'm not going to Vid Summit this year. I just the money. It would cost me like $2,500 to $3,000, and it being right in the middle of phone season, and this being the first year that I'm sort of out on my own. I didn't want to like sink that much money into it, but I hope to. Casey Neistat almost sealed the deal for me. I almost went just because Casey Neistat was going to be there. But yeah, I if I lived near LA, then I would go for sure. But I'm not going to make it this year. Richard, good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. What would be your one more thing that Google can do at the Pixel event? Oh, geez. I don't know. That's a great question. In previous years, everybody thought the one more thing would be like some special phone, secret phone, whatever. I don't think that's going to happen. And I mean, their tablet computer has basically failed. Their super expensive Chromebook. I don't know if anybody has bought that. I don't know. Maybe Wi-Fi. Maybe like a new Google Wi-Fi. I don't know. Good morning to you, Netherlands. Good to see you. So I act about. I'm just going to call you Prime. How's that? Have Android apps caught up to iOS apps? The simple, succinct answer is no. And that's just the truth. No, man, don't apologize for your name. I just, it's a lot of syllables altogether. So I'm going to call you Prime. It's cool. Yes, that is a Gibson SG, I think a 2016 SG with P90 pickups in it, because P90 pickups are like the secret magic sauce. And yes, Arturia Keylab 49 right here, the old one. It's got all the keys are all messed up and everything, but I don't want to spend the money on another controller. So, have I tried Safari? I use Safari on the iPhones and the iPads. I don't even download like Chrome or anything else. So yeah, P90s are the secret sauce. If you want a very versatile guitar sound, that can sound really crunchy and sort of humbucker like, but also kind of ringy and nice and just thick. The P90s are the way to go. P90s are the thing. Syrian man, why do we see a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to Apple? I'm a big fan of Apple, but no famous tech reviewer wants to admit this year's iPhones are really bad. I'm curious to know why you think they're really bad, because I was surprised at how actually good they were, because I thought they were just going to be boring and not that much. But the camera plus the battery life alone make it worthwhile. And trust me, I didn't think I was going to be saying that. I thought this was like a placeholder iPhone, but it's not. Thinking of changing from the P30 Pro to the OnePlus 7T. Well, the P30 Pro is a lot more phone, isn't it, than the OnePlus? But people love the OnePlus phones. The OnePlus phones are or at least the 7T is priced right. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't used the P30 phone, but I hear great things about it. So I don't know. I mean, it sounds like the P30 Pro is more phone than the OnePlus 7T, but maybe that doesn't matter to you. Yes, I have heard about the essential gem, John. I haven't watched. There was I guess they talked about it on Front Page Tech last night. I haven't had a chance to watch that, but I saw the little blurb about it the other day, and it's very interesting. Very. I thought, oh, is it a foldable phone? That phone? Oh, it's not a foldable phone. It's just like a foot long. Who and how are you going to use? I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Eric said, it's sad to see you return the Note 10 Plus, but after watching your video, I get it. Okay. I still have 2 days left before it. See, I didn't return it. I kept it and then like decided to sell it because I go through this thing where I feel like I have to, I talked about this in the video. I like it doesn't make financial sense at this point for me to keep like several Android phones. And so I liberated those funds for use for other things. But yeah, I mean it was a great phone. It's not as good a fit for me as the V50 is. So Jab Golf, yeah, I've heard about the history behind Peaky Blinders, and that makes me wanna watch it more. But yeah, I have to at some point decide to spend the time to watch the show because I think I got most of the way through season 1, so I got a lot left to go, and I feel like at this point I should watch season 1 over again. Do I think there's going to be a OnePlus 7T Pro? That I don't know. I'm not sure. OnePlus seems to kind of do. They seem to kind of like they had that Pro model of the OnePlus 7, but then they also just had a OnePlus 7. So the OnePlus 7 Pro was only available. Well, it was the only phone available here in the U.S. So, Bo Beats, good to see you, man. I've been checking out your videos from time to time. It's good to see you still doing the thing. Max Johnson, I can't do the curved screen thing anymore either. I'm over the curved screen. And if we get to waterfall screens next year, that's going to be even worse. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping that people come to their sense. Full-time next year. Good for you, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. I did the full-time thing this year, and it's been interesting. Yeah, just I think this is month 2 or 3. I'm not sure, but it's going. It's going. I'm not insolvent, so I guess that's a good thing. Do I think Apple's going to come out with a medical breakthrough? I don't know if it's so much going to be a medical breakthrough as the Apple Watch will be the first device that actually in a significant way becomes both a part of our everyday tech, but also integral in monitoring our health. I mean, it's already that, but I think it's going to be sort of like adopted by the medical profession, and that stuff's going to be integrated into the Apple Watch. I think that, yeah, I think that the Apple Watch is as much as it's had success, I think it's still a sleeper product on what its potential is. If that answers your question. Bruce Berry, would you recommend or would you say the Xbox controller would make me want to get Apple Arcade? No, I would say Xbox controller all the way for sure. I that's part of the reason why I don't play mobile games is I don't like playing on the screen, So Xbox controller all the way. I'm a sucker for a good controller. Like I've got the Xbox Elite controller. I've spent I think I've spent since the PS4 and the Xbox One came out. I think I've probably spent $1,000 on controllers, which is ridiculous. Nobody should do that, but that's what I've done. So Prime, you can attenuate those notifications quite a bit. Like I get notified when I get a phone call. I get notified when I get a text, when I get like a Facebook message or something like that, but I don't get notifications for anything else. So you can certainly customize what what you get on the Apple Watch. But it is overwhelming at first if you don't start to like if you don't start right away to like cut down on what you're getting. I don't do notifications that much at all to be honest, because I don't like to always be like having my attention drawn to the phone. So I'll do silent notifications. So in an Android phone, it'll show up in my notification feed. But I generally don't do notifications because they are distracting. Let's see. So Matt Tyler says the ROG Phone 2. I haven't seen the Air trigger. I'd have I still really want to check that phone out, but I have not yet had the chance. John, good to see you this morning. Good to see you this morning. So I'm scrolling back up to see if there are other questions. What else do you guys want to talk about? How long have we been doing this? 42 minutes. I'll go for an hour. Good morning, Craig. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm on my third cup of coffee. I've heard the battery life on that ROG phone is crazy. Pixel 4. I saw somebody ask, do I think the Pixel 4 will fail? I I think it stands a chance of not performing well. Let's say that. I don't think it will matter as much to Google as it would to other companies. But the thing is, like, if Google wants to have if Google wants to have a market share, they have to release a phone that is on par with Samsung and Apple, which means high level hardware with no glitches, fit and finish being very nice, and then also the software experience being completely on point. If they miss on either of those again, then I think the window will start to close on the Pixel line. So, Matt Tyler, thank you for being here. Good to see you, man. Is Best Buy monitoring your account from so many returns like they are mine? I don't think so. I have been banned from returning things to Best Buy at one point. I've had heated conversations with Best Buy managers for returning things to Best Buy. But recently, I have not returned as many things. So, although I just bought these 2 new monitors and I might return them, I got this new desk set up. It's a 46-inch wide table, and like my 30, and it has a big riser on it. My 32-inch monitor was too tall, and then the 27 was good, but I couldn't fit 2 of them. So now I went to these LG 24-inch monitors, and I'm not sure if I love them. Yes, Craig, you're right. As John Prosser says, they do have to stick the landing. They've they've got to do it right, and they got to do it right, and they got to look like they know what they're doing it. That's what's going to make people feel more confident about buying a Pixel phone. So Max, I'm like, I hear you with the bad experience in the Best Buy. It's highly possible to have a bad experience in Best Buy, and I often feel bad for the people who don't know anything about tech who go in there and the things that the Best Buy blue shirts say to people, because I can't help but listen when I'm in there. Um, the things that they say are like they don't know what they're talking about, quite frankly. Uh, they're not paid on commission, so I mean, they're not. It's not surprising that they don't know what they're talking about. And the majority of them are, in their early 20s or something like that. But they don't. Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. Whether it's computers or smartphones or anything like that. Um, I sometimes I sometimes have inserted myself into conversations that people are having with blue shirts to offer some more correct information. See, Craig, I'm a browser. I like to go in and walk through like every aisle of the store like two times. Best Buy has sort of become my like safe space. So whenever I'm feeling like stressed out or anything like that, go take a walk around the Best Buy and I feel better. Ivan, I'm not even gonna answer that. Um, so because I I have many things to say about politics, but I've run for office 3 different times. I'm a very political person, but I feel like if I bring that to the Painfully Honest Tech, it could be alienating to some people. So I try not to talk about it too much. Um, John, so John says they applied at Best Buy and they saw his computer qualifications and said he was overqualified. Well, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Um, yeah, the retail thing, I'm still a big believer in like seeing what I'm gonna buy. And and while I order a lot of stuff from Amazon, I tend to not want to I tend to not want to order some things from Amazon. Like I'd like to see the thing and touch the thing. That sounds bad. You know what I mean. John Kaz, very good to see you in Liverpool. Oh man, I still have never been. I've been to London. I've done the European touring thing. Have never gotten up to Liverpool. I want to do it so bad. Uh I'm gonna get there one of these days. See, I my family background is Irish. I've never been to Ireland. Uh, Beatles are my first love. Not been to Liverpool, so I want to go there. But I sit in my studio and do YouTube all the time instead. Maybe one of these days. Oh, they just opened Strawberry Fields. Oh, nice, nice. Like the original Strawberry Field. Nice. That's cool, man. That's cool. I very much want to get there. Yeah, primes. I agree. I want to see and touch what I'm buying as well. Like the monitors that I bought were not on display in the Best Buy, but and they're a brand new model of LG monitor. They're like $200 a piece. Uh, but LG's website was advertising them for 150. So I went to Best Buy and I was just like, "Do you price match the manufacturer's website?" And they did. So I saved $100. Um, yeah, but I'm not sure if I love them. They're good looking monitors, but they're not like the nicest monitors in the world. But I do like having two of them. I wish they had slimmer bezels. Slimmer bezels would be good. Nah, man. I have a good relationship with my local Best Buy at this point. The manager of the local Best Buy is the manager of the local Best Buy is a fan of the channel, and I do my best to not to not abuse the Best Buy return policy and stuff. So da, 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 da. Yeah, no, I think if I do return these things, I don't know what I would return them for. I mean, it's still one of those things where I don't have $1,000 to spend on monitors right now, and so you can get one really good monitor, or you can get two pretty good monitors. Uh, but these are like the plastic; it's a little bit cheaper feeling than I thought it would be, et cetera, et cetera. So, oh, so they ban you for returning cell phones? I could see that. I could see that if you do it too much. That's true though. I mean, that's the thing. Best Buy has the policy that you can return anything. And if you spend enough money at Best Buy, you get I'm an Elite Plus, I can return stuff 45 days later. So, yeah. They have the policy. I guess you're on the honor system not as to not abuse it. However, it's their policy. But yeah, they will put you in the timeout corner for a period of time if you do, in fact, abuse. I do have the iPhone 11 Pro. Got it on launch day, John. And I've heard there's some issue with the matte finish or something like that that is keeping the iPhone 11's Pro and Pro Max from being as available as Apple would probably like them to be. Um, I am very happy with it though. It is a really good phone. It is a really good phone. I expected it to just be kind of like an iteration, not all that much different than last year's phones, but the camera and the battery life, as I've said a couple of times now, are the features that will matter the most to the most people, and they are significantly different than even last year's phone. The battery is a lot better, and to be honest, I haven't used the fast charger at all. I like I put this when this thing needs charged at the end of a day when it needs charged, I'll just drop it on the charger, and that's I wake up the next morning, it's charged. But I'm still sitting here like 37% battery after I used it all day yesterday from early in the day. So it's the battery life is very good. Um, Bruce, I'm not using my iPad more. Um, I've always had a weird iPad relationship. Like I want to be somebody who uses the um who uses the iPad a lot. However, I use it to like watch YouTube videos and uh and to read books. So I could use it for more, but I don't. iPhone 11 also had a startup issue. What was the startup issue? I haven't heard about that. My favorite tech of 2019. Hmm. Jeez. That is a very good question. Um, I think right now, and I would have to judge that based on usage, and I would say the 2019 tech that I've gotten the most use out of is my Sony A6400 because that's what I'm using to make all my YouTube videos, and it's It's been really good. Although my settings got all messed up over time, and I just reset all my settings, and I'm starting to dial it in again. So the videos are starting to look better, thankfully, because they were not looking great before. Stuck on a black screen or the logo screen. Wow, that's interesting. It's interesting to me that that would happen on just the 11s, and I mean it's like the same the same processor, the same internals. That's weird. This is the Series 4 Apple Watch. So and I thought about it, of course, getting a Series 5, but that I've decided that I'm not going to get the Series 5 this year because the only reason I would want it is for the always on display. Uh I am liking, Jess, I'm very much liking the Pro uh as opposed to the Pro Max. I mean the Pro Max was awesome, and the battery life on the Pro Max is even more awesome than the battery life on the Pro. But I had a 10s for several months before this came out, and I got to a place where I really liked just the size and the feel of this. It's a lot easier to just carry around. I can get to almost everything with my thumb. So I ended up just really liking this whole deal. So I decided to go with this one this year. Um, I haven't tried the Power Beats Pros yet. I I tried the original Power Beats many years ago, and they were so terrible that I'm afraid. Although I hear that the Power Beats Pro wireless are very, very good. So Dan the Tech Man with a Plan, Daniel. Uh yes, instruments behind me uh are just for show. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I've been a musician my whole life. So, how many guitars do I own? There's one more. I have 5 guitars at right now, but I've had many more at given points in time. I've bought and sold so many guitars over the years. I I wish I probably have pictures of most of them, but it's kind of like cars. You know, my dad owned like 48 cars in his lifetime, and he had pictures of all of them, and he had them framed on the wall. But yeah, so I mean, so basically, I have the Gibson SG with P90 pickups in it is my one and only like main electric guitar. I have a couple other electric guitars that are cheaper guitars that I do funny things to. Um, and then that's a Martin D15 from 1997, solid mahogany. I've had that guitar since 1997. So yeah, uh, that guitar has gone many places with me, many places, written many songs on that guitar. Um, so John, I worked at the university and taught at the university until the end of July, I think, and then I continued to work up until like a couple of weeks ago, in just like 20 hours a week or something like that. But yeah, I quit the day job, and now I'm doing YouTube and other things. I'm doing YouTube and other things now. So mainly YouTube and watching Curse of Oak Island at this moment. But no, I'm getting back into the music stuff. I'm getting back to my writing and that kind of thing. Working on expanding the YouTube business, as it were. So yeah, it never feels like it's the right time to make that jump. Uh, and but it seemed like the right time when I did it because I was starting to lose my mind. Um, so Dan the Tech Man, I do have music on SoundCloud and on Spotify. I think I have four or five albums, five, I think, albums on all the streaming services. If you look for Star City, two albums with that band. That was my band in New York City. If you look for Sad Iron Music, you'll find two albums. And if you look for Jason Lewis, you'll find one more album. And they're all available on all of the streaming services. And then I have a Jason T. Lewis SoundCloud account where I just have like demos and other stuff that I've done in the past that doesn't have a ton of stuff. I have not tried the Yearbeats 3. Although I mean, got the AirPods right here. Well, these are the AirPods 2. But yeah, I love them. Where am I? I'm based in Iowa, the great rectangular state of Iowa, here in the middle of the United States. So Easy Rambo, yeah, I have wife, I have two kids. My daughter is still here in the house with us. My son is not living with us anymore. He's 19 years old and he's off on his own thing. But yeah, I in terms of private life, I mean, I don't really do much other than this, which is fine. Like I used to go hang out in the bars and all that kind of stuff up until about 7+ years ago, and then I stopped doing that and started doing YouTube and other things. And this is what I do. I don't do a ton of I don't do a ton of going out or anything. I should do more, but I don't. But YouTube can definitely be consuming to the point where it gets unhealthy, and I've been to that place. I mean, so I'm trying to get better about that, trying to find more balance in my life. I have never invested in the stock, but I probably should. Thank you, Jock. I appreciate that. Let's see. Bushin, where's this beginning of do I ever I mean, do I see people like everybody going back to owning physical media? I mean, vinyl is the only sector of the music industry where sales grew in the last couple of years. So the new sort of vinyl collecting craze that everybody's been on, I mean, I think that there's value in physical media. I love having things. There's something very specific about the experience of listening to a record, putting it on the turntable, sitting down, paying attention, not like multitasking on your phone or anything like that. So yeah, it's I think that physical media will have a place. I don't think we're ever going to go back to it being like the one and only thing. Yeah, records are definitely selling more than CDs. I mean, I think CDs are almost dead. Even though they're probably the de facto medium, I don't see CDs being. I mean, I know that like my CD collection, I've got like 1,500 CDs. They've been in boxes for 10 years. And I know that they have zero value in terms of resale. So I just keep them. Kenny Choi, thank you, man. I try and be as honest and detailed as possible. I mean, I think the details that I go for are often not the same details that other tech YouTubers would go for. So and that's what I hope for. I want to just give like an honest breakdown of my experience with the tech, and so I appreciate that. Thank you. If only Apple would release a phone with the squared off corners and Apple Pencil. I think I before we got all the rumors and everything else, I fully expected the iPhone for this year to sort of go the route that the iPad Pros went last year, and they didn't. But I think that we might see that next year. I'd love to see sort of like an updated design similar to the iPhone 4 or 5, glass back, all the wireless charging, maybe even a headphone jack. Never gonna bring back the headphone jack, but my favorite artist is the Beatles. But and that's I mean, I love many artists. The Beatles get that that honor because I've been a fan of the Beatles for the longest. So sorry, my wife is calling. Let me hang up on her. Um, wait, I wanted to get to somebody had a question up here. VHS tapes. I mean, I had a couple of different floods in my basement where all of excuse me, all of my stored media was. Luckily, never lost any physical media. So VHS tapes. I mean, and these are tapes where like it doesn't exist anywhere else but on these tapes, and I need to get them transferred over to something that is not degradable. But I just haven't done it yet. I'm putting together a Plex server. Plex is doing a sponsorship on the channel, and one of the things that I'm doing is a video on putting together my own Plex server. And yes, Pirate Bay is a great thing, Jeffrey. But officially, I can't advocate for that sort of thing. But yeah, Bruce, I gave YouTube a suggestion yesterday about getting a timestamp button for a list of places for the video you're currently watching, so you can go back. That's interesting. I don't know technically if how difficult that would be. I don't know if it's something that they're interested in doing, but I think it would be useful. I've often found myself wanting to go back and find like specific places in a video. I mean, sometimes the video producer will put timestamps in the description or something like that. But yeah, I don't know if YouTube will ever have that as a feature. Paul, thank you. I appreciate that, man. I try and bring something different to the table. Yeah, sometimes YouTube will allow you to pick up where you watched before. Sometimes it doesn't. Name of the bands: Star City, STARCITY, 2 words. Sad Iron Music, SADIRON Music. And Jason Lewis. If you search for those 3 things, you'll find everything that I've done, or everything that I've released, not everything that I've done. I love Steely Dan. Steely Dan is a band that I will sit down and listen to if I really want to appreciate like high quality music, like on my hi-fi system, because the records sound great. So they're usually Steely Dan is in my like playlist of system testing things. So, do I think LG will retain the headphone jack in 2020? I hope so. I mean, I really, really hope so. They have dedicated themselves to high quality audio on their phones for quite a while now, and I don't know why they haven't made it a real push. As I don't know why they don't advertise like, "Hey, we have this awesome thing in our phone that nobody else has." I don't know why they don't, because there are people out there who would buy the phone specifically for, well, I mean, there are people who buy the LG phone specifically because they have the quad DAC. And if LG actually pulled their head out of their rear ends and advertised that, the specific feature that makes their stuff special, then they might sell some more phones. But they seem to be very bad at marketing. So, Josh, yeah, I think you're right. I've always been more of just a straight up creative person than anything else. Uh, the fact that I can make money on YouTube now is the first time that I've actually been able to support myself doing that. And it's a good feeling. It's a scary feeling too, to sort of like leave the security of a day job. I mean, I love teaching and I loved the job that I had. But as YouTube took more and more time and, it was growing more and more, it's something I had to give, and I took the jump. So, yes. No, Paul Lawson, the S line is not going to keep the headphone jack. The S11 next year will be jackless, which is sad. I would have thought that the Note line would keep the headphone jack this year, and maybe next year would be the year that they go away from headphone jacks. But I guess they accelerated the timeline. I really think that Samsung, when it came time to really finalize the Note phones, I think Samsung had lost so much money on the Fold that they had to cut costs. And that to me is some of the reason why they didn't go all out with the Note series this year as they have in the past. Easy Rambo, thank you, man. Thank you. It's yeah, that record, I worked with a guy named Jay Bennett, who used to be in a band called Wilco. If you guys know Wilco. And it was basically he and I in the studio. We brought in a drummer to do some tracks, but the two of us made that whole record together. That guy was a crazy genius. I don't throw the genius word around very often, but that guy was a crazy genius, and I'm really proud of that record that we did together. They should bring the jack back to the Notes, but they won't. They won't. If they wanted to if they brought the headphone jack back to one of their phones, I would hope that they would go something like the route of the V series and make it a higher quality headphone jack. I mean, the quality of the headphone jack in the Samsung phones has always been pretty good, but not great. Especially when compared to something like what LG's got in their phones. So Bush, and you're watching on your V20. Wow, and I love that phone. I love that phone. Love the V50, the V10 even more. Yeah, there's so many, like, the third party headphones that you can buy. I don't feel like LG needs to do more, but I know what you're saying. Note 9 versus 11 Pro Max. That's hard. I mean, the Note 9 has all of the good things about the Note series going for it. The 11 Pro Max, again, it comes down to camera and battery life. Incredible. If you are somebody who has used or doesn't mind using and switching back and forth to iOS, it's a great phone. You can get the Note 9 for a lot less money right now. So, Johnny, if they brought the headphone jack back next year, I would lose my mind. Would lose my mind. LG Pay. So I've not set it up on this phone. Can't you use Google Pay with the LG phones right now? I thought I heard. I haven't done it yet. I haven't set it up yet. I have started using Apple Pay though. So Jock, thank you. That's awesome, man. Josh, thanks, man. Don't be jealous. I mean, I know I make it look easy. No, it's very. I'm very grateful for the fact that things have gone well with the channel. It's stressful a lot of the times. It's fun a lot of the times, but you know, do your own thing, man. Oh yeah, so LG Pay works like Samsung Pay. Yeah, that's great because out here in the middle of the United States, not a lot of places have um not a lot of places have like Apple Pay or anything like or Google Pay or anything like that. Um more than a couple of years ago, but still, something like Samsung Pay or LG Pay would be great. Uh January 2020, 800,000. I don't know, man. If you're talking about my channel, I I would love to get to 200,000 by January. Maroc Spec Ops. Sorry, I don't know. I'm doing my best here, man. Uh, Goodbye. Is Apple Pay, is I'm assuming that's Apple Pay is um I mean Apple has always been really good about their security. You have to verify it through your bank when you set it up. So I have a relative I'm relatively confident in the security of Apple Pay. 10s Max for an 11. Man, again, battery life and camera. It's battery life and camera are the deals with the iPhone this year. The 10s Max is a great phone. I mean, you're downgrading screen in terms of overall quality, but the quality of the 11 screen is not bad. You're downgrading in size, so I don't know. That's I mean, if you want like the cool colors, but then again, you could just get a cool color case. So it's hard to say. Sorry, I'm sorry, but it's just really tough it's really tough. Yeah, Bush and I haven't set up Google Pay yet as well. Thank you, Marak. Thank you for sticking around. Appreciate it. Um, so Jockey, I've always wondered, like, would people want more vlog type stuff in my videos? Because I could certainly do some of that, but I just I just haven't because tech is weird. Um, it feels like people, if you're a tech channel, people want you to talk about tech and not stray too far away. but I would like to try different things. That's why I'm doing these live streams more often now. They just give me a chance to chat and talk to people about different stuff. Oh yeah, the iMac Pro video where I was sitting at a gas station right after I bought the iPad Pro or the iMac Pro. Yeah, I should do more of that. The one thing that I'm afraid is that like people will think that I'm insane more than they already do. Do you do any other business other than YouTube? I mean, I have several different ways that YouTube makes money for me. I'm thinking about uh, probably within sometime in 2020 investing in doing something like creating some kind of Amazon business that more of an entrepreneurial kind of thing. I'm looking into that. But yeah, I mean, I need to do something like that because YouTube money can fluctuate too much, and I don't want to have to only rely on that stuff. Jeremy Baker, good to see you. That video was shot on the Sony A6400 with the 16 millimeter Sigma lens. It's the same camera that I've been using, although over time the settings on the camera had gotten like super whacked out. So I just like reset all the settings and dialed it in again. And so that's why suddenly the picture got much better. I have a music channel, Dan. I have a music channel. If you search for Jason T. Lewis, you'll find my music channel. I haven't put any videos up on there recently because things have just been crazy. However, I was actually thinking about doing a video on there today or getting something up there tomorrow. Yeah, Raiden, I've been watching Kyle's vlog stuff. And it is I mean he's very funny and very dynamic, and his wife is very understanding of it. and she's very funny and fun to watch as well. So I think that's I'm like an old guy. So I don't know. It's weird because I just feel like it's I one thing about doing vlogs and that kind of stuff is that you have to be sort of on all the time. And sometimes I'm just not on. But, maybe there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. I have to figure it out. Yeah. I asked about doing videos in Best Buy. And I guess you have to get approval from Best Buy to do it because all the people that work there would have to, they would have to be aware that you're filming and sign a release and all that other stuff. But I'm sure I could just sort of do it and get away with it. Yeah, and in terms of gaming, I have a Twitch channel. I want to start doing stuff over there. I was setting up my Stream Deck today. Finally, I've had this Stream Deck for like 2 years. Finally started setting it up so that I could have it ready for that kind of stuff. And I have a couple of games that I want to play. So I want to do that stuff over on Twitch. And especially, I mean, I play games mostly on the PS4 right now, and have for a long time. But I want to get more into the PC stuff. Right now, my PlayStation is set up in my living room. I have it mounted on the wall with my Xbox One X. So it'd be a very long HDMI cable to get it in here. But in terms of what do I think of the PS5, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for just the possibilities of better hardware, and speed and all that kind of stuff. I don't know about that design. I don't know about that design, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, so so Paul, excuse me, Paul. I play Battlefield a lot. I can't say that I'm like a first person shooter gamer because Battlefield's the only first person shooter game that I play. And over the past few years, it's become like the only game that I play. I play with a friend of mine from college and a bunch of other guys that we're in a clan. So there's a bunch of other guys that I play with too. Um, so yeah, I want to play. So Fallout 76 is set in West Virginia, which is where and I grew up in West Virginia. Like the university that I went to is in the game. My high school is in the game. I kind of just want to do a playthrough of Fallout 76, like visiting the sites of West Virginia and all the weird little things about that. So like, you know, but yeah, Fallout 76 is like something that I've wanted to do for a while. I own the game. I haven't even like opened it. So, um, I did play some Doom and Quake, but I wasn't big into gaming at that time. I had roommates and friends who played the crap out of those games. But I wasn't a big gamer at that time. I didn't have like a PC. The first computer I had was an old Mac, the Classic 2. I'm drinking water. I know like it's a mason jar and it's clear liquid, but it's water. Ah, need a little water to keep the throat lubricated. So there was a OnePlus event today. I guess I didn't even know about it. But yeah, so Bullets Wireless 2. I I haven't tried the Bullets Wireless. I'll say that first. But one of the reasons why I haven't tried the Bullets Wireless is because I would bet dollars to donuts that they suck. And so I haven't tried them. Good morning, Scott. Nice to see you. Favorite game of the old and new generations. Last of Us 2 or Last of Us is my favorite game of all time. Uh, I go all the way back to the Atari 2600 and to arcade gameplay and that kind of thing. So my greatest achievement in gaming was actually I turned over the Atari 2600 Pac-Man game. I think if you got 100,000 points, it turned over or something like that. So I turned that over in one game. And that was my greatest achievement. But it's been a long time ago. I can't remember all the details. Bilal, hello. There's a shout out for you. Steve Day. Thank you so much for the kind words. Red Dead Redemption 2. I own it on PS or not on I own it on Xbox and I've barely played it because I'm a loser. I really want to play that game. I love the first one, man. My daughter was really young when the first Red Dead Redemption came out, and when she was really young, she was super into horses. And so all I did in that game was ride around on horses for, for my daughter. Which was fun. I also played a lot of Skyrim at that time, and I did an entire, like, I finished an entire quest, like a line that took like I feel like it took weeks, um, to get a special horse. So in Skyrim, so what was it? Shadow something or other. I don't know. Anyway, MDK. Uh, I'm not I'm not picking up what that stands for at the moment because my brain is fried. So you'll have to tell me. I haven't played Zelda Breath of the Wild. I would really like to. I don't own a Switch. Um, so maybe one of these days, maybe for my birthday or Christmas, I'll grab a Switch or a Switch Lite. Um, Murder Death Kill. Okay, never played that. Never played that. Um, yeah, I've heard so many good things about Breath of the Wild, and I remember playing like the OG Legend of Zelda games back, you know, in the 80s, 90s, 80s, in the 80s. Um, so yeah, I remember finishing one of them. I never had a Nintendo myself, but one of my roommates at a certain point had a Nintendo, and so I played through one of the Zelda games, maybe two, can't remember. Um, I like Dressman. I like the idea of Mortal Kombat, and I've played it a bunch, but I'm not very good. uh, so my daughter got really into the DC version of Mortal Kombat. I'm blanking on what it was called. DC Universe, maybe. Um, and she, and this was when she was like 12 years old, right? Um, so I played with her when we first got the game. Injustice, yes, that's it. Thank you. Um, this was Injustice 2, and she was probably 11 or 12 years old when we started playing. And and when we first started, the games were competitive, but within a week or two, she had gotten so much better than me that I could not beat her, and it was embarrassing. So, uh, uh, so at that point I was like, I don't want to lose it to my daughter, so she started playing people online. Jacques, thank you. I guess I mean I've done that Can You Trust series now for this is like year two. I haven't done too many in recent months, but some people love it, some people hate it. It is what excuse me, it is what it is. Uh, Dan, thank you. I do have a lot of other interests besides tech, and I've started to feel like because of how much YouTube stuff I'm doing, I'm not I'm not spending as much time doing the other stuff that I really like to do. So um I'd like to do more of that stuff. Like I said, I have a music channel. I'm gonna do some of that. I want to get over on Twitch and do some gaming. I also have a channel where I do live music stuff. Um, and yeah, I want to get more into that stuff, and I think I can work a lot of it into what I'm doing with YouTube and other things. So Dressman, thank you. I try to be an awesome dad. Sometimes I feel like I'm somewhat too absent. But, um, have the big boys ever messaged me about Can You Trust? Yes. Yes, they have. And for the most part, honestly, for the most part, people have been very cool with it. and about it. I mean, there have been a couple of times here and there where people didn't as much appreciate, but like struck up a relationship with Flossie Carter from that, iJustine from that, Michael Fisher from that, John Morrison. I got to actually know a lot of the people that I featured on the show through doing the show, and like I've even exchanged message, like Facebook message, or not Facebook, but Twitter DMs with Lou, and I've talked to Marquez a little bit, and yeah, most people have been cool about it. Like my goal with the Can You Trust series was never to like, to trash anybody or anything like that. It was more just I I wanted to look at how people did what they did. And at the time that I started the channel, there wasn't a whole lot of transparency about how the business got done, especially with the big boys. Like so I wanted to start I wanted it to start a conversation where people were talking more about how the stuff was done. And so that's what it was. And I think a lot of people appreciated it. I did make a mistake here or there. But that all got worked out, learning experience for me, et cetera, et cetera. But overall, it was a fun series, but it was also very stressful because you don't know how other people are going to react to it. I didn't so much care about how the audience reacted to it. I mean, of course I care about the audience's reaction, but what I see typically from the audience are the vocal minority of people who are like hating or trolling. So that comes with the territory. But yeah, it it was stressful to do for the sake of like just wanting to walk that line between being really constructive and thoughtful about how I was talking about it. Was always a little bit stressful. It felt a little bit easier this time when I did the unbox therapy. Unfortunately, like nobody watched that video. I don't know. YouTube's been weird recently. Scott, I do watch Snazzy Labs. I've watched quite a bit of his stuff. And like it a lot. I mean, he's an Apple guy. I like Apple stuff. He's done some really interesting projects on his channel. I think the first video of his that I watched though was the blind test that he did with somebody else, where giving people Beats and other headphones and seeing if they could tell the difference. I think that's the first video of his that I watched. But then I've watched subsequently more. Preston Morton, good to see you this morning. Good to see you. I hope you're having a very good day. Max, yes, I mean the toxic Samsung fanboys are always there. And I mean the toxic blank whatever video I'm doing about whatever phone or anything that I'm doing, those people are always there. And it's taken me a long time to realize that the reaction that I'm getting in the comments from people like that are not the majority of how things are being perceived. Like if you look at the comments, you think everybody hates the video, right? But then if you look at the like to dislike ratio, usually it's like around 90%. So if 90% of people are liking the video and like 80% of the people in the comments are hating on the video, I don't get as many comments as I do likes and dislikes. So I'll just take those numbers. I mean, there have been times when I've had videos go 50-50 or even worse in terms of like the dislike ratio, but I don't care. Because usually if I'm doing that in a video, if I'm getting that kind of response, then I've obviously struck a nerve and people are responding to it emotionally, and that's what's important. Preston, I didn't realize that the baseball playoffs were on. I didn't realize they were happening yet because I don't pay attention to I don't pay attention to anything. But I didn't know until Saturday when I was watching the West Virginia football game and the Yankees were playing at the same time and the Yankees were winning. And yeah, still a big Yankees fan. I haven't watched how that series has evolved since then. I hope the Yankees are still doing well. Matthias, thank you. How are things in Portugal? Thanks very much for those kind words. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it very much. Sinister 24 asks, when aren't they toxic? Here's the way I think about it. If I don't get negative comments on a video, if I don't get negative comments on a video, then I feel like I've probably not done a very good job with the video, because making a video about tech, making a video about anything, making any kind of creative thing, if you don't get an emotional response from somebody, if it doesn't create an emotional response in whoever's viewing it or reading it or watching it or whatever, if their response is just like, okay, then you probably didn't do the job very well. So, as much as negative comments kind of suck and they can wear you down after a while, I've come to expect them, and when I don't get them, I feel like, what did I do wrong? Scott Woodford, thank you for the super chat, and I'm glad the Yankees won. It's just the way it goes. I need to watch more Yankees games. When I was in New York for the Note 10 event, I was staying with a friend and we watched Yankees games like every night. And I hadn't watched Yankees games, like I hadn't sat down to watch a Yankees game in a long time. So, Preston, thank you. I appreciate that, man. What's your take on the whole Activision Blizzard China situation and the U.S. companies bending the knee to the Chinese? I don't know much about the Activision Blizzard China thing, to be honest. I've seen just a little bit, not enough to really speak on it. It's Apple pulling that app that's been all over the news this morning. I don't know. It's a really difficult thing. I would love to be able to say, like, companies shouldn't be beholden to governments. But sometimes they are. And Apple's relationship with China is obviously a thing. And so I don't feel good about it. I don't feel like Apple should be doing things because they're getting pressured by a government. I admired Apple when they would not help crack that guy's phone for privacy reasons. I thought that was great. So yeah, I don't know. So what is the free speech issue with Blizzard? I did see headlines about this, but I didn't have a chance to read into the stuff. Dan, I agree. Tech should be more than phones. I have a couple of videos that I want to make. Well, I'm going to be making a video about setting up a Plex server. Plex is sponsoring a couple of videos on the channel. So I'm making a video about how, my experience setting up a Plex server. My entertainment room, my family room, living room, whatever it is, I've has gone through something of an overhaul recently. Um, I've gone to Sonos throughout my house, so I kind of want to do videos on those things. Sometimes though, YouTube makes it hard because it almost feels like with the YouTube algorithm, if you wear a groove into the YouTube algorithm um, where they know that you make videos about iPhones or whatever, when you throw them something that's not along the same subject line, they don't know what to do with it, and it just never goes anywhere. But if you want to do those things, you have to keep doing it and sort of retraining the algorithm to look for those things as well as the other things. But I do want to do that kind of stuff because I think there's a lot more to cover in tech. And I want to do more, like in terms of smart home stuff and all that kind of stuff. I want to do more than like, product showcases. Like how do I actually live with it? How easily is it to work with it? That kind of stuff. Thank you. I really enjoyed making that Steve Jobs video. That was another one that I thought was going to, I was really proud of it. I thought it was well made. Yeah. And it didn't take off either, but sometimes it happens. How do I feel about the join button? I just, it's been a month or so since I was given access to the join button, and I'm hoping, I don't know yet. I mean, everything that all the money that comes from YouTube is 2 months removed. So I won't really see membership money for a bit now, but I do hope that, offering memberships and offering stuff. I haven't gotten everything up off the ground that I plan to offer. But doing that stuff it's easier on YouTube to handle memberships and to give stuff to people than it is to go on have to go to Patreon on an entirely different site, et cetera, and try and fulfill stuff that YouTube can build it into their system a little bit more, and it makes it easier to do. So channel memberships feel weird, I guess, because plenty of people say like, well, why would I pay you for, you have a lot of subscribers, why do you need money? It's like, well, I honestly, like, I need money now more than ever because I don't have another job at this point. So hopefully the join button, the membership thing works out well. And yes, Hugo, Preston, thank you for being members. And if anybody else is interested in membership, you can hit that join button down there below this live stream. If you're on iOS, I don't think there's a join button, but you can find it on the main PHT page or something like that. So yeah, I mean, I like it. I just hope that it's, because there's a critical mass. You get to a critical mass where like you can do the things that you want to do for people. Because like when there's fewer people, it's harder to do the bigger things, et cetera, et cetera. How do I feel about the Surface lineup for 2019? I was really impressed with what Samsung came up with. I mean, of course, the Duo and the Neo we're not going to see until holidays next year. But I like that take on a foldable device more than I like the idea. More than I like the idea of something like the Galaxy Fold. The way the Neo turns into the Neo's the bigger one. The way that you can put that keyboard on and you move it to the top and you get a trackpad, or you move it down and you get a touch bar. That's really slick. And I think in terms of the future of of mobile computing, that's probably the way things are going to go. So I was really impressed, and I'm really anxious to see how that stuff pans out. I definitely will be grabbing at least one of those devices to check out for myself. The one thing that I hope Microsoft gets right this time around is build quality overall. Overall build quality for Microsoft, like the Surface Books are amazing, but I've had a few of them, and they've all had some sort of technical problem, and had the same problem with this with an early Surface Pro. And I've had a lot of the students that I worked with in my job bought bought Surface Pros for their medical school years, and I would say like 80% of them that I talked to had significant problems with their Surface devices. So I think Microsoft needs to bear down on the quality control. The devices themselves are beautiful, and the possibilities for them are amazing. But if they don't work, then they're not gonna be as heavily adopted as I think they could be. So I'm excited for the I'm excited for these devices, and I kind of hope that we see something along those lines coming from Apple in the next couple of years. Although I don't know if we will. Um, the idea of an iPad that's also a laptop, a dual screen device, that's something that I've always thought would be a logical next step for the iPad, and the beginning of the bridge between the laptop computing stuff and the mobile stuff. So I'd like to see some stuff like that from Apple, but you know, Microsoft tends to, a lot of companies tend to put the stuff out there and then like hope that it works, and Apple's much more sort of risk averse. Like they wait until they know they've got the thing right, and then they put it out. But that makes them slow. So, Dan, yeah, I could add a $1 level for the memberships, but I mean the one thing about memberships on YouTube is that YouTube takes like 30% of every membership. So a $1 membership is really only 70 cents for me. No, and that shouldn't be that's my problem, not yours. I mean, ultimately I wish YouTube did this kind of thing the way that Twitch does it, where the viewer will buy bits on Twitch, and then and then they can donate them to the people that they watch, and the people that they watch don't lose any money. So um anyway, that's but yeah, I've been thinking about a $1 or $2 level as well. So JS says, I think you missed an opportunity to call your channel Awfully Honest Tech, because the awe of awfully and on of honest sounds similar. Yeah, I don't know. Awful means bad though. So I don't know if I that negative connotation is just maybe I want to be more positive. Honest has more of a positive spin to it. Uh Preston, studio tour. Yes. Um I could do a studio tour for the members for sure. Um, and maybe that would be something that I would then release to the rest of the world after the fact. I've been working on the studio here for quite a bit, bringing stuff, just making stuff more ergonomic and useful to me. So there's a lot of new stuff to talk about in the studio. So maybe I'll do that. Thank you for the idea. I appreciate it. Um, So, Den Bart, you're using the V50 and Tidal. But I'm to get the full. Is that the full features? You had to download from the Google Play. Yes. I guess I'm not following what you're saying. I think maybe I am, but Khalil, good to see you this morning. Is anybody having trouble with my audio? Because Jap Golf says there's some audio glitches. Oh, JS says no. So maybe it's your connection. I'm not sure. Tenderly splendid tech. That sounds kind of dirty. So I don't know. So, all right, I've been doing this now for almost 2 hours. I'm going to stop at the 2-hour point. So let's get a last blast of questions to round us out to the 2-hour place, and then we'll be done. Hamed, good to see you. Matt McCourt, I did sell it. In fact, this was funny. The guy that I sold it to commented on the video verifying that he bought it from me on Swappa. so there's that. That was kind of funny. Danny, sorry that you just. I mean, I'll leave the replay live for a while. You could go back and listen to the whole thing. I don't know if it's that exciting to listen to. It could be like white noise in the background while you're doing whatever you're doing for the day. 2 hours of me talking about whatever. All right, so hit me with some questions. Hit me. I haven't seen the 7T Pro. I guess the event just ended, so I'm gonna have to reserve comment on that. But yeah. Can you shoot at 460K at 60 FPS using the wide angle camera on the iPhone Pro? Let's see. I'm not sure if you can. I hate that you have to go into the settings to get to camera settings. Okay, 4K 60. It won't let me select it. I have to upgrade the operating system. I'll get back to you on that. Hamed, thank you for the following of the channel. I mean, if you upgrade from a 10R to a Pro Max, it's a huge jump. It's a huge jump. The 11 Pro Max is so much more of a phone than the 10R. I will, however, say that the 10R is the best value in mobile phones right now. I really think at the price point where it sits. So you're paying almost twice what you would pay for a 10R if you get the 11 Pro Max. But if you have that money and you want to spend it, then you would be happy with that. Jeffrey, thank you. Donating plasma. I haven't donated plasma for a long time. I haven't seen one's video stabilization video. I will have to seek that out and watch it today. Let's see. RE, again, camera and battery life are what separates the 10s Max and the 11 Pro Max. So if those things are worth spending the extra money to you, then yeah, it would be an upgrade. But there's But in terms of daily use, you're not going to see like a huge difference in daily performance. It's just in those places. What's the spec of my PC? I have a i7 9700K, RTX 2080, 64 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, those are the important things, right? So, and I basically like I'm back on the PC right now because some of the setup things that I have here work better with the PC. My MacBook is sitting back there. I don't know what I'm not going to make any claims of like I'm switching to PC or whatever because I get myself in trouble with that. But right now my PC is set up to all this, and so I'm using that. The Audi is great. I still love it. It is such a fun car to drive. So I think for the value that you get a $50,000-$60,000 car for like half that price when it's 2 years old coming off of lease. Like that to me is like super great value. So just bought a Blazer for your wife. I have to see it in person. I haven't seen the new Blazer in person yet, but I have to say that I was hoping that it would have more of a throwback look to the old Blazers. I spent a lot of my childhood in a Blazer. My dad had several Blazers, and they had more pickup trucks, but we spent a lot of time in Blazers and Suburbans. So I was kind of hoping that it would be a little bit more of a throwback in terms of design, but I need to see it in person. Getting a gimbal for the phone. I mean the best one is the Osmo 2. The DJI Osmo 2 is the best one that I've used. I haven't tried a lot, but that one I like. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you do, it's really good. Travis is rocking in the morning. It's what, like 9:30? Are you just rolling out of bed, or have you been up doing your thing, Travis? I have been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I'm probably going to finish this and take a nap because I only got 3 hours of sleep last night. Let's see. I do play some games, although like my PC gaming is, I don't play PC games as much as I play on the PS4, but I'm hoping to change that. I'm hoping to do some more game streams on the Twitch and that sort of thing. So yeah. Dan, what's the 2496 question? I missed the what do you hope to what do you wish to accomplish with this channel? What's your dream? I mean, I would like to see the channel continue to grow to become something that, I want to be able to talk about more than just I talk about more than just tech now, but I kind of want to be in a place where I can do something like, not necessarily like a Philip DeFranco, but something similar to what he does in terms of like digging a little bit deeper into topics and that kind of thing. So that's something that I'd like to be able to do. And so I guess that's a goal. I mean, of course I want 1 million subscribers. I'll take 200,000 by the end of the year if you guys want to go out and campaign for me. But yeah, I mean, I want it to be, I just want it to be something where I can express myself about this kind of stuff. And eventually I want to branch out and do other things, so it's all about building, as they say, that personal brand. So whenever you start out with a tech channel, At first, nobody watches you, and then they watch you because of what you're talking about, and then eventually they start to watch you in part because they want to see you and they want to hear what you have to say. And I feel like I've made the transition over to that place. Um, then I think there's a place where you can like people will go with you to different people will go with you to places that you want to go. And so that's kind of what I want to do. Um, I've done some live streams, some live music streams over on the Twitch. I have a Twitch channel that I set up for music. Uh, I need to like build that stuff into my schedule a little bit more because I always think like, oh, geez, I should be doing this, and then the week goes by and I'm not doing it. Uh, so Hamed, why has nobody noticed that the iPhone auto lock timer is half? When you are in any app, it's exact, but when you're in home screen, it's half the time you set. I have not noticed that. I'll check that out. Um, so I've thought about, well, not necessarily game reviews, but more like computer and PC related stuff. Um, uh, and Preston, the PC is hand built by me. So I I bought all the parts at Best Buy. So because I wanted to see if I could build a computer that a beastly type computer from Best Buy. I didn't buy all the parts there. I guess I bought everything but the case there because you can't buy a case at like inside the store at Best Buy. Um, Sebastian, I think I know that like of course the majority of my audience is North America, and then then the UK and Europe, and then the other parts of the world are like anywhere from 5% to 2%. And I'm not exactly sure what Southeast Asian traffic looks like. I'll have to check that out. Um, people always say that I look like Seth Rogen. I don't see it, but I'll take it, I guess. I don't know. Um, use the so to hear the highest quality title, you have to use the USB Player Pro app. I don't have that, so I'll have to check it out. Um, all right, I'll take one more question and then I'm done. One more question, hit me, and then I'll be done. I'm gonna go take a nap. That's pretty impressive, Preston. Pentium 2 was a while ago. I've done the thing. So for Christmas, for a couple of years, I've built computers with my kids, and then upgraded that kind of thing. So it's fun to do. What am I doing for the rest of the day? that's, that's a good question. I'm gonna eat some food immediately after this. Maybe take a little nap. I'm not sure. Maybe take a walk to sort of stretch my legs. I got it. I got it. I've only got 7 minutes of exercise so far today. Uh, I want to do some music related stuff. I I've got my studio like mostly set up. I want to get everything plugged in and set up and working the way that it needs to be working. I might do a video for the music channel today if I haven't like totally blown my voice out from talking for 2 hours plus. Um, what am I doing for the weekend? Watching a football game. That's the only thing I know. What am I going to eat? Probably a bowl of cereal. Um, Thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate it. I'm gonna keep going. I love the fact that that YouTube is like, I mean, it's like international. People watch from everywhere. West Virginia versus Iowa State on Saturday is what I'll be watching. West Virginia University is the school that I graduated from in undergrad, and I lived in Morgantown, where the university is, my whole life before that. So West Virginia sports is my big thing. Tips for what? What kind of tips? Um, I think that the line is in favor of Iowa State, but this West Virginia team is a little bit better than people think it is. I don't know what the spread is. I haven't looked. So yeah, I typically don't. I especially don't do any kind of wagering on teams that I love, because that's crazy. I haven't wagered anything for quite a while. I used to be a big poker player, but I haven't done that for several years. Slick Smith Tech. Hey, good morning. How are things in the Philippines? In Iowa, it was a little rainy this morning. In my opinion, West Virginia wins because I'm a homer, and of course, uh, so I think that West Virginia is going to win every time. It is at West Virginia, so that's a thing in their favor. Matt, Webster Springs. Yeah, I don't know if I've been exactly to Webster Springs, but I know like the area. I know where it is. Um, so and I like I said, I think that West Virginia team is better than this, everybody thinks they are, and is getting better still. So, but the Big 12 is a tough league to play in, for sure. It's like, I was thinking about it the other day. It's like, when you play in the Big 12, when West Virginia was in the Big East, we'd play like Connecticut and Rutgers and good teams, but not like great teams, perennially great programs. But now that we're in the Big 12 and we got Texas, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Kansas State, it's almost like once you get into league play, every game is the same thing as what your bowl game would have been previously. And so it's taken a while. It takes a while to get up to that level, but I think they've done it. Favorite NFL team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I grew up an hour away from Pittsburgh, and I grew up in the 70s when, Terry Bradshaw and the Steel Curtain and Franco Harris and the Immaculate Reception and all those things. Yeah, Taylor Lawrence, I mean, I don't watch Clemson very often, but what I've seen of Taylor Lawrence is he's a very good looking quarterback. He's very pretty too. Tough seasons. It is a tough season for the Steelers. Although I liked what I saw from the third string quarterback when he came into the game. That's a storyline that I'm excited to watch however long he's in playing. Undrafted guy from Samford, not Stanford, Samford, gets to be the quarterback of the Steelers straight out of college. I'm interested in seeing that. I'm going to be honest. Like I'm sort of ready for Ben Roethlisberger to retire. He's a great quarterback. He's made some questionable choices in his life that didn't make me happy. I'm ready for somebody else. Teddy Bridgewater was amazing for the Vikings when they had him. Why the Vikings didn't keep him, I don't know. But now he's great for New Orleans. I don't know I don't know if Tomlin's going to leave. I think that's the thing about the Steelers. The Steelers keep their coaches. And Tomlin's been there for a while now, but I don't think he's going anywhere. He's still young, and and I think he still has a lot of upside as a coach. So, I mean, I just think that the Steelers got it's a crazy storm of Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, then Ben gets injured, and it just a lot of really crazy stuff. Um, all in like succession. So, uh, Slick Smith, yeah, I talked a little bit about the Surface stuff before. I'm really impressed with what Microsoft is bringing out, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that stuff in the real world. I'm looking forward to another Surface Book as well. You know, so but the Surface Pro X or whatever it's called, that looks really interesting as well. It's an ARM based design. And I'm anxious to see what that's all about. All right. You guys have gotten an extra 15 minutes out of me, which is cool. Very cool. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're talking. But I am gonna jump off now because I'm hungry. You can tell a joke, sure. That'll be the last thing that we do. Tell us a joke, Jock. Better be funny. Kunal, thank you. All right, we're waiting for Jock's joke, I guess. I'm not. Come on, man. That's not that's not cool. I don't like gay jokes. I don't like jokes that make fun of other people. Inappropriate. So with that being said, now I'm going to be done. Thank you everybody so much for being here with me this morning. It's been awesome talking. I'm doing these morning streams at least once a week now. Although I might start doing them more often. So I accept your apology, Jock. We'll find a better joke next time. What guitars are in the rack? Gibson SG, Martin D15, a Squier Telecaster, and a short scale Fender bass. I can't remember what the model is. The Bronco, I think it is. Anyway, folks, I'm going now. Really appreciate everybody being here. New video coming out tomorrow. Maybe I'll have a new video on the music channel later on today or early tomorrow. Excuse me. Otherwise, you guys have a nice rest of your day. Good Friday and all of that kind of stuff. And I will check you again soon. Until the next time, my name is Jason, Painfully Honest Tech in the morning. Until the next time, I'm out.